Welcome to Amud Shiur. Elul, Elul. It's a new month, not just a new month, it's a new Elul. Let's get stronger in our learning. Maseches Makkos Daf Chaf Amud Aleph. Maseches Makkos Chaf Amud Aleph. It's all about your hairstyle. What's the halachic hairstyle? Okay, I get you. So now we said in the Gemara, this year's Le'ilu Nishmas of Imor Menachem and Akiva, Atzlocha of צבי אביגדור בן ברוך הביילה הצלוחו כאן כלל ישראל נצולו רפוס פנינה חיה בהסגול האוכל חיינה בעצימה בחסוך שכל ישראל. Zog the Gemara, Hani Dalet Vei Krichas in a very, very, very last line of the page. Hani Dalet Vei Krichas Echidami. We said there's a special pasuk, right, that tells us, there's a limud that tells us that if a person was over on korcho is a prohibition. Yeah, it says which means if a person wants to pull out his hair in order to show sadness over somebody that died, a relative or a rabbi or somebody that he loves, and he pulls out the hair of his head, some of the hair, we're going to see how much, and he wants to show grief by that, it's only over dead people, by the way, parents, not over other things, we'll see later. Then even if he did it 4 or 5 times, each time he pulls out a tuft of hair, he's chayav a separate lav, and I mean it's the same lav, but he's chayav a separate set of malchus. It's a separate lav, meaning he's chayav malchus separately. By the way, I have something to say about shaving the beard, but I'll say that towards the end of this year. Some half correction from yesterday. How does that work exactly? That if the person was korech in different places, is chayv each one is a separate act. What's the story? And the Torah has to tell me that. If you want to tell me that every time he did it separately, yeah, he was about to pull out his hair and he was warned each time separately, pshita, of course. What's a chiddush? I don't need a posuk for that. If a person is about to eat chazir once, and you tell him, don't eat chazir, eat chazir, you're going to get malchus, he ate his chayiv. 5 minutes later, you eat chazir, you get malchus. Again, well, obviously it's chayiv each one, hasro and maisa. We don't need the pasuk to tell me that. That's just how it works. Every hasro has to be took to the gibur from the maisa. Ela must be what? Bechada hasro. There's one hasro, he was warned, don't do, I see a guy about to, he's crying over his dead, I feel bad for him, yeah? Over his dead son or daughter or brother, and he's about to do that. Hey, don't do that. If you do that, you're going to be Chayiv Malchus, you're over on Lotasimu Kocho. And he did it once, and again another time, and another time, consecutively, one time after the other. Mi Mechayiv. Is he going to be chayiv on all 5 times? No, he won't. He'd only be chayiv on the first time. Get what I'm saying? This is one time after the other with one asra. Yeah, you're giving him a asra at 9 o'clock. Then again, he did it 9:05, 9:10, 9:15, 9:20. He won't be chayiv on each and every one malchus, only on the first time. Why? Look, see at the Mishnah. Look at the Mishnah in Nozir. Ratnan, it says regarding Nozir, we all know that a Nozir is not allowed to drink wine. And it says, Nozir shoyse yain kol hayoim eino chayiv elo achas. Nozir was drinking wine all day long. He had a drinking day, different types of wine, or the same wine. He's an alcoholic and he's a Nozir. Maybe that's why he became Nozir. He's an alcoholic. I don't know. The Bekitzer, he's drinking again and again, but the Hasra was only given at the beginning of the day. Only before the first time, he's chayiv what? Once. On the first time. He's not chayiv on the other times. Why not? Well, there could be different reasons the Rishonim discuss, but first and foremost, there's no asra on the other ones. Why? It's not toch kedei dibur. I gave him asra 9 o'clock. It doesn't work for the 9:10 and for the 10 o'clock and for the 11 o'clock. Yeah, it only works the one drinking right after the asra. Omruloi al tishte v'ushoyse then chayv al kol achas ve'achas. If they told him every time again and again, each time he was about to have the cup next to his lip, about to start drinking, they warned him, then he's chayv each and every time. So has to be toch kedei dibur, right before the Maisa. So again, the question is, what does it mean over here? There's a pasuk who tells me that pulling out the hair, in demonstration of sorrow, kolcha, you chayv each and every time. What does it mean? Again, the question. If I'm giving him a sorrow on each and every one, it's not a chiddush. If a straw was given once and then he did it again and again later, then no, why should it be chayiv? It works against the grains of a straw. Answers the Gemara, lo itzricha. There's a new case here. There's the third option of how everything is done together. The sach chamesh etzbois of nasa or nasha, I'm not sure. Basically, he took his 5 fingers and he smeared them with nasha. Nasha, says Rashi, is a cream, some kind of cream and ointment that causes the hair to actually fall and never grow again. Yeah, some very potent kind of chemical that if you put that, I don't know, it's called whatever. I'm sure there's modern version. What? Nash, I don't know, Nasha. Yeah, you put it chalila over here, no hair over here. Ve'utvinu bevas achas. 1, 2, 3, 4, boom! In one go, he's doing the 5 things together. The five kochos. Look, in one, all his fingers are, he dipped them in that cream, and boom! Yeah, now his hair is falling in 5 different places at once. The asra now applies to each and every one. If I gave him a straw before and I said, hey, don't do that, Maisa, had it been anything else, let me just clarify it for you. If a person is about to eat 5 pieces of chazir in one go, yeah, it's not so possible. You can only have 2 kazesim in your throat, 2 kazesim. If a person is about to have 2 pieces of kazais, yeah, one, chili flavor, one sweet flavor of the kazais of a chazer, 1, 2, 3, he's going to have one asra on the entire achila, right? Here the chiddush is no. Even though it's one ma'aseh divided to 5, with one asra, comes the Torah and says, no, I view that it's as if, it's as if it is 5 different things. That's what Tosfos says. Karachos mechalkos. Tosfos compares it to a very nice thing we saw some time ago by nida, by sexual relationship. Let's say a person has 5 different tashmishim, 5 different relations with 5 different nidos. With one helem is chai 5. That's a chiddush. One helem is chai 5 korbanos, because it's 5 bodies, it's 5 women, 5 different stories, yeah? And therefore it's chai 5. So sometimes the Torah divides it by bodies, and here the Torah divides it per kocha. Each kocha is mechayiv you, even though it was done in one go, comes the Torah, oh, I'm getting you here, I'm chapping you 5 different liabilities. That's a chiddush. Now, frag the Gemara, v'kama shiur kolcho? How much is the size of kolcho? Let's say a person plucked out one hair. Is that called kolcho? Or does he have to make his entire hair bald, or most of it? What's the story? Enough that you see some of his hair, some of his skull. Cap. Yeah, not skull, cap. Yeah, what? Scalp. Right, scalp. Not the skull, hopefully. Not that bad. Right, the scalp. Thank you. The skin of the skull. The scalp. You see some of the scalp, and that is enough. Zok the Ritva. The Ritva, by the way, I forgot there was another Ritva. The Ritva says, why does the Gemara say, Dafka, that he took the cream, that Nasha, and he put it over here? Why don't we say that he pulled 2 hairs with his hands? He pulled together. The Gemara wanted to gain a chiddush to tell me that even though you're not pulling the hair, but you're just causing yourself to be bald because of sorrow, you're also chayiv of korcha. That's a chiddush. Maybe cream is not the normal way. Yeah, kamash malan korcha. Korcha means any kind of baldness that's done out of tsar is considered loikechu korcha, and it's also. Now, I didn't try that cream. It happened naturally by me. I don't know. Right. No, yes. Now, v'kama shiur korcho, Rav Unoimer kedei shiro meroishoi. Enough that some of his scalp is going to be to show. How much is that? The Ritva says there are 2 extreme opinions. It doesn't say who of the Rishonim. Either a very, very little, a little bit of his scalp can be seen, which otherwise wasn't, or maybe it means no. Yiroi means very significant, very visible. That from afar you see like a whole bald patch in his hair. Then it's considered as the shear, either one or the other. Rabbi Yochanan argues, Rabbi Yochanan Omer Mishum Belezer ben Rabbi Shimon or Rabbi Shema kegris. How much is a gris? 19 millimeters over 19 millimeters. Gris, yeah, that's what your wife can become nida midorabanon. Gris, 19 over 19 millimeters. that is the shear that makes him tome, and not tome. I'm confusing. That's a shear of the issur of pulling out the hair. Happens to be the same shear of mitzoyro. Now there's a whole girsa over here. Others say kedei shiroe meroishoy. Basically, we are again learning the opinion of Tanoim who support Rabbi Yochanan, and they say also Irom Erosha. What we said before is Machlokes Tanoim, either Shiur Kolcha, either Kigris or Irom Erosha, either 19/19 or any pulling out of the hair. Now, Omar Vidu Bachaviva, Pligi Batlasa Tanoim. Really, there are three opinions amongst the Tanoim. How big is that Isser? How big, or small? What's the minimum size, minimum amount to be Chayv and Alkichu Kocho? If you think this doesn't apply today, you may be right. I don't know, but it could happen. Let's say you see the Ritva says that in his times in Spain, medieval Spain, it was very common. A lot of women would actually pull out their hair over dead. They didn't know. And he gives you a whole drosh over there. The Ritva says, don't tell me mutav shushoigigin. Many times, especially by women, will say, let them sin, by mistake. Let them, at least do it by mistake, no do it by mezid. He says it's not true. It's doraisa. Something that's mufurish written in the Torah. It's written in the Torah. Don't pull out your hair out of sadness. It's not nothing. So he says, no. You just have to insist with your wife, insist your daughter. Apparently it was common then. And tell them, if you see them about to pull the hair, you stop them and you say, no, that's also doraisa. It's a severe thing. I don't know. Maybe today there are cultures when they do it. I don't know. So Lemaisa, you should know. This is could be Nagala Alocha. You see an irreligious person, I don't know, doing it. Yeah. So you should know it's also. Now, what's the size? What's the shear? Omar Viuda B'Chaviva, Pligi Batlosa Tanoim. There are really three opinions amongst the Tanoim regarding the size of Kocho. Chad Oimer Kigris. One of them says Gris, as we said, 19/19 millimeters. V'chad Oimer Kedeshiroi Meroishoy, as we said, is either a little bit of hair out or significant patch. And some of them, the other one says 2 hairs. You took out 2 hairs, you already chayv, which is the same shear for Shabbos. Shtei sayros is the shear we'll see later. If a person cut 2 hairs on Shabbos, he's chayiv. 2 hairs is always considered as the choshev shear for haircuts. Here too, 2 hairs, you pulled out 2 hairs, you chayiv malchus. By the way, the Rishonim say that even a little bit, even according to those opinions, it's also to take out a little bit, even 1 hair, because chatzi shear also in the Torah. Even half a shear is also, right? Even to do the minimum. In order to be chayiv malchus, it may be chayiv only on the gris or the 2 hairs. Ve'ika demapik shtei sayros umal bekadosho. Some people have a different girsa. Instead of 2 hairs, they say it's kadosho. There is no shear of 2 hairs, but rather a dosho. How much is a dosho? A dosho is I think a 1/9 of a gris. A gris is 19/19 millimeters, and a dosho is much less than that, is 1/9 of that. That's a dosho, because that's by tzaras, that's how it works. The person has white spot of a gris, he goes to the kohen sees what's going on. If later there is healthy flesh the size of a dosho inside the gris, then he's tomeh. How do I remember gris is the bigger one? Gris is like gross. Gross in Yiddish is big. What? Adosh is a lentil, right. A gris is also a type of lentil. Both are different types of lentils. Yes. A bigger vegetable. Gris is bigger, right. Gris is what did you say? It's a bean, right. Bean, right, okay. They're both legumes. Yes, very good. Okay, if you say so, I'm not a thing. Okay, shkoich. Veika de mapik. Let's continue. We recorded again. Veika de mapik shtesairus umal bekadosho. There's another version that takes out the 2 hairs. In other words, they say no, 2 hairs is not the shear, not the third opinion, but rather adosho. Adosho, the lentil, that is the shiur. The simonech, how much is that? Now, what's a siman? How do you remember that instead of 2 hairs you have adosho? The semen is just like I told you regarding mitzoiro. It's just a semen to remember, nothing to do with that. Just a way to remember the different shiurim. Just like by mitzoiro, you have the bigger shiur of the whole white spot, which is a maybe tome, maybe not tome. That's the beginning of the process of mitzoiro. Baheres is a white spot, of one of the four different shades of white. It's the size of a gris. What's a gris? He said it's a bean. That's 19 over 19. Umichya bekadosho. The live flesh that's inside, that surely means that it's clearly a mitzvah, is the size of a dosho. So instead, now, what about the kol shehu? That you don't have to remember, says the Ravan, because kol shehu is not any specific shiur. The shiurim that we have to remember are gris and adosha. Remember, just like b'mitzayro, so to have opinions regarding the pulling out. The mashu is not something clear. It's different by each person. Tana, comes the brisa about Shabbos. I told you we're going to learn about Shabbos. Anoitel meloi pi hazug b'Shabbos chayev. A person who takes out, meaning he cuts off his hair, meloi pi hazug, the size of the beginning of the scissors. The edge of the scissors, their scissors didn't look like ours. They were actually two knives connected. And if you take out the top of the scissors, where the top of the scissor cuts off, on Shabbos, you're chayiv. Chayiv what on Shabbos? What are you chayiv on Shabbos? Mezid, you chayiv skila, or kores, shoigeg, you chayiv chatos. Now, v'kamer meloi pi hazug, how much is that? Some scissors are bigger than others. Omar Rav Yehuda, shtayim, and that's alocha. If you cut on Shabbos 2 hairs on purpose, lo leinu, you're chayev. That's chilo Shabbos, you're chayev. Are you allowed to cut 1 hair on Shabbos? Are you allowed to? No. It's chatz shiur, it's osur. But to be chayev, you're chayev shtayim. Each one of the shiurim of Shabbos has a shiur, and this one is the example, 2 hairs. Frek the Gemore, v'hatanya, but there's a brisa that seems to contradict what you said. It says, lekorcho shtayim, yeah? It says for Shabbos miloi pizug, Shabbos is scissors size, and for kolcho it's 2. That sounds to be like one is negating the other, right? Shabbos is scissors, but kolcho is 2, right? Yeah, if I'm telling you he is this, but the other one is Y, so this X and Y not the same. So you go, no, that's not the right version. Ema v'chen lekolcho shtayim. Very good. No, it says, yeah. Kolcho 2 is also 2 hair. 2 hairs also means the same as before. Shabbos is meloi zug, which is 2, and so too kolcho, so too cutting the 2 hairs in order to show sorrow is also the shear is 2 to be chayev malchus. Tanen Amiyachi, it's the same shear, Shabbos and kolcho, according to this opinion. Tanen Amiyachi, a brisa that supports this. Anoitel meloi pi hazug b'Shabbos chayev. A person who takes out, meaning he cuts off 2 hairs, yeah, meaning scissor size, the top of the scissors, one cut on Shabbos is chayiv. How much is that? Shtayim. That's 2. Ablezer says no. Even 1 hair, even if you cut 1 hair on Shabbos, a haircut of 1 hair, you're already chayiv chatas. It's a chiyuv. There's one case in which Chachamim agree to Rabbi Eliezer that 1 alone you're chayiv. When is that? A person has, black hair, nice black hair, or red hair, or brown hair, so nice in hung at the age of 43 and a half. Oh, he looks at the mirror in the morning to his shame and horror. What does he see? 1 white hair. Uh-oh, I have 1 white hair. What does he do? Ooh, I don't look young anymore. Maybe my wife is not going to like me, and maybe he's not in shidduchim yet. I don't know what's going to be. The world has fallen apart, and therefore he wants to cut that 1 white hair out of the black. And it happened to do it. He happened to be doing this on Saturday. He does it on Shabbos. He's chayev. Why? Because that's the tikkun. What's shiur? Shiur, my friends, is all about chashivus. When is something important enough for the Torah to be mechayev me? Only when I do something of significance, of importance, I made a difference in my life. Of course, that's also quite a flexible definition. But here, Chachamim say, listen, 1 hair to pluck is nicht choshuv, 2 is important. But when you have all black and you have 1 white hair, and that white hair you took out, that's a huge difference. Beforehand, you were the guy with a white beard, with a white streak in the beard, and now you're not. So even one white hair out is already considered choshuv enough. 1 second, give me a second, and you chayiv. I have one ha'ora to say soon, but let's get to the two dots, and then you'll say something, then I'll say something. Wow. Even if the guy did it on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's also to take out one white hair out of the black is asur. Mishum shenema lo yilbash gever simlas isha. Because the Torah is telling us something very, very interesting. The men should look like men and women should look like women. Oh, what a chiddush. Can I write that to the YouTube channel? Chas v'shalom, yeah? What happens if a man dresses like a woman or if he behaves, cosmetically like a woman? Because it's accepted by women to dye their hair or to, as long as they can, pluck out one white hair. The woman has white hair. Girl, non-married girl, she has one white hair over here out of the black. Before she goes to color her hair, what will she do? She'll cut out one white hair. She looks young and pretty. That's normal by women and not normal by men. And therefore, that's an Isur D'Oraisa of Lo Yilbash Gever Simlas Isha. The Ritva points out, thank you for your patience, the Ritva points out that it's actually Machlokes Tanoim, whether Lo Yilbash, what does it mean Lo Yilbash Gever Simlas Isha? Literally means a man should not wear the dress of the woman, as they say it in English, cross-dressing, right? He shouldn't cross-dress, he should dress like a man, and she should dress like a woman, which is a very novel idea, yeah? So now, right? So now, he is not dressing like a woman, it looks like a man, very masculine, he wears, hat, jacket, jeans, whatever is masculine. Elamai, he's behaving that way, like dyeing the hair, or pulling out the white hair. That's a machloikis if tzoso doraisa or rabbanon. I heard from a person who told him that a very already rabbi told him that in shidduchim a guy can dye his hair to look younger. I don't know. Maybe maybe today it's so normal by men that I do know because I once gave shiur on that biyun. These things are flexible. In other words, let's say I do know that the Rishonim say by shaving your armpits. I think it's a very, very not masculine thing to do at all in the society where I live. Please enlighten me, and maybe I'm too narrow-minded. But apparently, in some societies, in the Rishonim time, it wasn't like a funny thing. It was straight and normal for men to shave their chest, to shave their armpits, and then maybe it's not an isser because it's not like I'm following feminine meaning. I'm very masculine, but that's normal to do by men. So these things are very flexible. So in case you want to dye your hair black for the siyum, yeah, you all want to dye your hair black, yeah, and your beard, ask a competent posek if you're allowed to do it or not. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, you're gonna. Yeah, you would. Yeah. So now, okay, you seem unsure. So, so we're gonna get all called the rabbanim to ask about that. I think I'm staying white. I think I look good enough. And what? Right. No, to die. So basically, this is an issue, and it's a machloikis, whether it's da'isa d'rabanan, that's one machloikis, to dye or take out the white hair. And the other machloikis is bichlal, if today it's considered to be typically a typical feminine thing to do. I have something else to say, but I want to hear you first because I know you have a question. Since we're learning a little bit of Shabbos here in the middle of Makkos, that to pluck out the one white hair out of the black hair, the otherwise black hair, is only chayiv d'oraisa according to Rabbi Yehuda that says melocha she'enet tzricha legufa chayiv. What's melocha she'enet tzricha legufa? Melocha she'enet tzricha legufa means that the hair that I cut, I'm not interested in the hair that I cut. I'm getting rid of a problem. Getting rid of a problem is one of the at least 3 ways of defining melocha she'enet tzricha legufa. Melocha she'enet tzricha legufa means I'm not building or doing something constructive. I have something unwanted that I'm getting rid of, and that is that white hair out of the black. According to Rab Shimon, you're potu, which is halacha. According to Shulchan Aruch, according to Rabbi Yehuda, you're chayiv. Okay, that's just a side note. That's if you want to do Shabbos, we learn Shabbos every night. You're all welcome to come to my 9:15 shiur. Yeah, so don't complain I'm leaving. I'm still here 9:15 to 10 every night in Me'am Lo'ez. We're learning Masechet Shabbos. You can also be there on Zoom, and in the recordings. Weiter. Oh, here we step into the very haredi barber shop when they do what? They do haircuts that are osur midoraisa. Tana Rabbanon, Peas Roishoy. It says Peas Roishoy. What's Peas Roishoy? As we said, there are generally speaking 2 separate isurim. There's makif, loy takifu, laakif, don't circle. Literally means don't circle. Don't create a circle on your head to look like, the priest, like of something. And also not to be lahashchit, not to destroy the corner of the beard. I want to half correct what I said yesterday, although it wasn't completely wrong. When I told you about the five corners of the beard, so I said there are two over here. That's true. One is at the very, very bottom of the chin. The other ones are here. Apparently, the Ravan did not mean that when I read it again. He means this, those, kilo the end, kilo towards here, the end, and then this one. One, two, three, four, five. Why am I not wallowing in tears and telling you I'm sorry, I made a mistake? I'll tell you why, because there are so many shittas here in the Rishonim. There's the Rosh and there's many others, yeah, who say that those five corners are almost anywhere in the beard. Some say this, some say here, even unbelievable. Here, with the towel, you don't do, yeah. But it's zokon. It could be the beard. I have beard growing here. Yeah, zokon. There's roishcho, peas roishcho. This is a corner. That's clearer. And there is koncho. I have beard growing here. Many of us do. Shall I check? Yeah, you do. Yeah, and therefore even could be here. And some say it is here. In other words, zok the Shulchan Aruch. I'm sorry, I'm jumping to Shulchan Aruch, this stage of the sugya. Says the Shulchan Aruch, don't touch any part of the beard. Why? Because those five spots mentioned in the Mishnah are so controversial, meaning their location is so controversial. It could be here or here or here or here. You don't go into a minefield saying, maybe the bomb is over here, maybe it's here. Haha, it's not a computer game. It's an Issa D'Oraisa. Yeah, you don't walk between the drops, relying on this. It's so, sprinkled with this is the Rosh and this is the Ritva, this is Rash, but this is the anywhere in the beard would be any of the five. So says Shulchan Aruch, not a chumrah made up in Bnei Brak. Says the Shulchan Aruch, don't touch your beard with the towel, with a razor, or I would say with the non-kosher scissors. By the way, the non-kosher shaver is not a new thing. Yeah, the head back then also something that was like tar, almost as good as tar. You're not allowed to use it. Yeah, you have to check up if you have a shaver. You have to make sure the shaver is kosher. Otherwise, you're running to dorais. It's not a game over here. Yeah, it's elul. And therefore, you have to know those five can be almost anywhere in the beard. Those corner, that's a corner, that's a corner. The kids are don't start. I mean, we're not learning this bio now, so I'm not going to details, but that's a story. Yeah, good. What's pe'ah? Pe'ah is a corner. Where do you find pe'ah in the Torah? The corner of the field. Oh, the corner of your heads are usually round, but the corner of the head, basically of the hair, is here. That's like the corner. Soif roisha, the end. Vezel soif roisha. What does it literally mean practically? Zamash v'tzdov lachoyrei oznai u'lepadachtoi. The tzdov is what you called yesterday the sideburns, right? And you compare it, you equalize it with, look at this. Achoyrei oznoi. Behind the ears, all human beings have, like smooth, non-hairy area. And then you have over here, you have tzedov. Yeah, excuse me, you have padachtoi. Here you don't have hair either. You basically make a straight line between machlokes, straight, not straight, lo mishane, but generally speaking, if you want to equalize that baldness with that baldness by cutting this all the way to the corner, which is that bone over here, so above the bone, that's the Bermuda Triangle. Here is the corner, and you equalize the corner with this and that is usher to do. And if you do that, it's an Issur D'Oraisa, right? Now, Tani Tanaka made Rav Chizda. Echad. Oh, now let me ask you a question. Wait a second. It says loy takifu. Let me be smart. Let's say the guy really, really wants to have a cool haircut. He wants to look like a Brazilian football player, soccer player. Psh, what a inspirational figure, Mamash Bal Musa. Yeah, he wants to look like him, like a choshev a mensch. So because he wants to look like a football player, like a soccer player, he really, really wants to have this out to look cool. And he's going to say, I'm here Shamaim, but hey, it's not my fault. I'll go to Enod Milvado, that haircut, yeah, the hairdresser, and I will sit there like a statue. I'm not moving. He's doing it, not me. I'll sit there like a statue. I won't move. I don't have to move, and he'll do it. Leaving it. Yeah. Oh, very nice. First of all, who says there's a love? And secondly, even if there is a love, it's love shen b'maises. I'm not going to get Malchus. I'll just sit there nicely, like a good boy, in the kindergarten. And what? And I'll sit. Statue of Liberty with my hands down, not up. and he'll do it, and I'm a good boy. How about that? What a solution. Let's see. Tani Tana Kamed of Chizda. A Tana taught in front of Chizda, you have a point. Echad Makif, Echad Nikaf Loike. Opa! Both Makif and Nikaf, both the one who's doing the job, both the barber, the Enod Milvader guy, and the guy sitting there, they're both Loike. Question. Okay, first of all, who said there's Bechlal Elav, right? And even if there's a lav, it's a lav shen b'maisa. Tzvi was right. I'm sitting there like a sitting duck. I'm not moving. I am inactive. I'm passive. Why should I get the malchus? And the first question I will answer not inside the Gemara. Rashi basically the Ravan says over here, yeah. Ravan says that the Ravan says loy takifu means two things. First of all, loy takifu pashtus means don't cut the hair. If I'm sitting there, I'm not doing anything also. I'm not cutting. I'm being cut. My hair is being cut. Yeah. Says Ravan, that's for sure wrong. Of course, there's a lav over here. What's a lav? Loy takifu means don't allow your hair to be nikaf. Don't get into that situation of nikaf. Yeah. Like the mitzvah say, when the Torah says build a makkah, and I send someone to build a makkah, Jewish guy. Of course, it's my mitzvah, right? I'm doing somebody else is doing it for me. Here too, right? Here too. Lo takifu means don't be in that situation of your hair being nikaf. And by the way, it also says, he says another reason, it says lo takifu is plural. Lo takifu, what is there lo takif? I think takifu is plural. That's what I taught me in Ulpan, I think. No? Lo takif is one. Who's lo takifu? Who? Reuven and Shimon? Lo takifu means both the barber and the client are both over an Isser. But that doesn't really save us from the main problem. Okay, there's a lav shen b'maisa. However, frek the Gemara, why is the nikaf loike? Back to the Gemara. Amalei, Rav Chizda asked not the Tana, the one quoting the Tana, man de achil tamri ba'arvila laki, a person who eats dates from the basket, will he get malchus? Which means eating dates from the basket is just an example for something that's absolutely allowed. We're in Bavel, not Musumaisless, dates are healthy. I'm eating some dates. In other words, what wrong did he do? Says Arit, but this question is a bit misleading. Yeah, why? To eat dates, as long as it's kosher and you checked it from bugs, is okay. Mashenk and the guy, as Tzvi was saying, the guy sits at the barber shop, for sure is over an Isser Torah. Elamai, he's not getting malchus. Why? Because it's lav shen b'maisa. That's what the Gemara means to say. Vis-a-vis malchus is not doing anything wrong. To allow and have my hair cut, allow Enod Milvado to what? To cut my hair, that is, of course, also, but it's passive. If I'm doing something passive, right, I'm not chayv malchus. True. And therefore, why is he getting malchus? Still a question. Answers the Gemara, Omer le, the Omer lach mani. So he answered, you know who's the one who told you that? Rabbi Yehuda must be you. He's answering his own question. Yeah, Rav Chizda is telling the Talmud, I know why. I know who told you that. It's Rabbi Yehuda. The Omer lav shen b'maisa loikin olav. Fair enough. Okay. Rabbi Yehuda, we saw before twice. He is his own shita. He's a maverick here, and he says even lav, which is passive, you like it. Shkoich beseder. Only Rabbi Yehuda is a das yachid. He holds it to go to the barber and sit there and not say, I'm just saying, please do me the football haircut. I'm not doing anything. Then I'm chayiv only according to Rabbi Yehuda because lav shen b'maisa I'm chayiv. Rove says, wow, this is a very, very cool answer. The guy did this himself. He lives in a real Haredi neighborhood where there are no people who do this crime of cutting against halacha, right? So what does he do? He has to do it himself, DIY. In British English, you say DIY, do it yourself. Yeah, you know that? Yeah, DIY. In other words, do it yourself, meaning he does his own haircut like that to look nice. So now he's both. Funnily enough, the inactive became active. Cool. Yeah, get what I'm saying? In other words, I'm Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I'm both together, right? In other words, I'm the active guy, but because I'm the active person who's doing the haircut to me, I'm chayiv too. Yeah, because Lamaisa I'm acting, also I'm passive and active at the same time, but Lamaisa I'm doing to love him. Yeah, I am cutting and I'm being cut. But the fact, but I'm not two people. I am one person. That one person that has his hair being cut is actively cutting his own hair. That's why it's chayv too. It's a chiddush. It's a lav shen b'maisa, which became with a maisa. Yeah, I now became active in having my hair cut. There are two isurim. Let me just sharpen it. Let's say I'm Mr. Barber, Mr. Barber. Yeah, you know the name, Einoid. Yeah, so now that barber, what about him? He cuts other people's hair. I feel very bad for these people. I see them smoking outside the thing, the barber shop, drinking. I feel like telling them, what's going to be with you guys in Olam Haba with the kippah on their hands. I don't know. Shem Yishmo. Anyway, so they probably know. They're probably told. They live in a different place. I don't know. I just feel very big tsar whenever I see them there. Bekitzer, maybe I should tell them. Should ask a rabbi. Bekitzer. So now the guy who constantly gives haircuts to all these people, of course, it's Chayav Malkus every time. He's the active guy. That's Makif. The Nikaf also has an Isser. If I go to different barbers and I'm sitting there, I'm not Chayav Malkus. We're not in Rebuta now. I'm not Chayav Malkus. I'm sitting. I'm not moving my head. And he's doing it himself, then what? I'm over an Issa Doraisa, but I'm not Chayv Malkus. But when I'm both people together, when I'm the client and the barber, says Rava, the fact that I'm active affects both Lavim. Now that I'm the active guy, then also being done to me, I'm already active, and therefore I'm Chayv to Lavim. By the way, another question before we continue. Long time no see. Where's Tim? Hey, Tim. You know that Tim McKenzie became a barber and he gives treif haircuts to Jewish people. I'm very upset. Is that okay? I'll go to Tim McKenzie and he's a guy. He's a guy, so I'll go there. I'll sit there and tell him, Tim, can you please give me a goyish haircut? You know what goyish means, yeah? And he'll give me a goyish. That's okay. No, he's a guy. Says the Shulchan Aruch, bad news, you're not allowed to. Why? Because you're not allowed to have it done even by a person who has no problem. Tim himself has no problem to give himself or all his children, all his clients, all the other guys, Mackenzie, McKinley, Mahmoud, and Shmatmud, and Pim Pam Pum. He can give them all a haircut. That's no problem, even if it's Ben Noyach. Okay. To give it to me, I don't know if he has an Isser. Maybe Machti a Jew, I don't know. But Lamaisa, for me to go to Tim and have a haircut by him is also. Why? Because I'm having it done to me. And having it done to me, even inactively, I'm not Chayv Malkus. I'm not Chayv Malkus except for beauty, but it's still also. Because the Issa to have it done to me applies even if the active guy is nothing to do Torah and mitzvahs. Maybe even a robot. A woman is also a question. We'll talk about women later. Give me one more, and then I'll hear you. Ravashi gives you the simple answer, which I was hinting to all the time. Ravashi Omer b'mesayah v'divra hakol. Everything is good. What happens if the guy is a mesayah? Usually, when you're by the barber, last time, you've been by the barber, you can't really sit there the whole time. I mean, usually you don't sit there like the statue like that. You have to, he's telling you, move your hair, move up your chin, close your lips, right? So when you move around and you are mesayah, what's mesayah? You're helping him, you're assisting him by movements of your hair. Then, of course, you're not ein b'maise. You turn the ein b'maise to yesh b'maise. Those movements, it's not just lifnei iver. It's mamish. You made the love of nikaf into an active love because you are moving. You're not moving because you're not doing your daily exercise. You're moving in order to allow his shaver to come to your hair like that. And therefore, that makes it active. And then you chayev malchus. And that really was the ladivra. And then Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbanan, everyone agrees that if I'm active in the mice and I'm moving my hair or the beard, beard leave alone. That's a different story. But moving my hair, then even though takifu nikaf becomes active and I'm chayev. Okay, so bekitzer, so there's a big difference, If the 1 second, if a guy tells you, listen, Rabbi, I don't mind being over Doraisa, but I don't want to get Malchus. Malchus I don't want to get. Then I tell him don't do it. But what would be the difference if he sits there like like a statue, not doing anything? He's over Doraisa without Malchus. If he moves around, he becomes active. Then what? Then he becomes an active partner. And then yesh b'maisa, and then you take him to Beis Din, and his nice haircut and 39 malchus on his body. Then he looked like a real hero, like a real sporty guy, full of bruises. I'm listening to you, Rabbeinu. Yes. Okay. A person who mashchis. Now, I want to be melamed kaf schus after this whole soapbox business. There is an opinion in Shulchan Aruch that says that if you shave it very closely, the sideburns here, but you don't mamish cut it like hashchos, so you don't do it with a razor, then it's okay. So those who have like a very close haircut, like close kohl haircut, there are opinions that allow it. However, Shulchan Aruch says not to do it. So I'm saying limud kaf schus, it's a machlokes rishonim. Why? Because here it doesn't say hashchoso. It doesn't say to la hashchoso is here with a razor. Here l'choyer it's also even without a razor, and that's a common opinion. Even if a cut is very, very close without a razor, I still have a little bit of hair, it's still osur and chayv. However, there are people who say that that is okay by the peah. Now, tono bonot, peah is kanoi, soif is kanoi. The peah kanoi means the end of kanoi. Vezu soif kanoi. What's of kanoi? Shiboles the kanoi, the shiboles. Now, shiboles means a shiboles in the field is a stalk, look at the stalk, a stalk of wheat or barley. Now, shiboles means wherever you have like a gathering of hair. Yeah, if the beard grows naturally, there are like places in the beard where like a whole tuft of hair grows together. And again, that could be either here, here, here. Some say here, by the way. Some say, I think Some Rishonim say the mustache is also corner, like the mouth, corner. Here even? Yeah. Could be. I believe you. I don't remember all the shittas, I have to admit. But the kitzur, all these could be like shiboiles, like where it grows in one spurt. Oh, now let's move from the barber shop to Loleinu Chas v'Sholom to the Beis Halavayis. You go to the Beis Halavayis, and people, what do? They don't pull out their hair. It's a separate iser. V'seret lenefesh lotitnu. Yeah, v'seret. Excuse me. Let's read the pasuk. It says in the pasuk, v'seret lenefesh lotitnu b'bsachim. Seret, a scratch. Yeah. Don't have a scratch in your flesh over the dead person. Belenefesh, seret lenefesh. You scratch yourself as showing sorrow over a nefesh, a dead person. Don't do that in your flesh, in your body. Veseret, yochol, we quote the pasuk, yochol afilu sorot al beisu shenofal val sfinosu shetova bayam. That was your question, parents. A person feels very, very sad, but not over a dead person. He has a real tragedy. His house burned down. That's a tragedy. Nobody died, but his house with all the belongings and the millions of, that's a very, very big loss. Don't talk to me about insurance, all kinds of sentimental things. It's very, very hard. Or his ship, he has one ship, and that's his parnosa, full laden with what? Whatever, export-import cargo, and the whole thing sunk in the sea. Yeah, he lost millions of dollars, and now he lost his parnasa, and he's very, very sad. And because of that, to demonstrate the sorrow, what does he do? He takes his fingers and he soet chas v'sholom. He scratches himself to show sorrow over a tragedy which is not life or death tragedy. Talmud loyma lenefesh eino chayv ela lameis bilvad. It's not a nice thing to do, maybe, but that's not the Isser of the Torah. The Isser of the Torah is only when you scratch over a dead person. If you scratch even to show sorrow over other things, other tragedies that are not connected to death, you're not chayiv. Maybe there's an Isser, there's some an Isser to harm yourself, which we'll learn to become, nothing to do now. It's not the Isser of Seret. A person who's so sorry when his father died, and now he scratched 5 times, let's in one go, 5 times over, his long fingernails, now 5 sritas over one person, he's chayv on each and every one. How do you know? We saw that before about kolcho, but who says that's true also about seret? Talmud lo yamar v'seret, l'chayv al kol srita v'srita. This is very lom de shalimud, which means the Torah could have written clearly, al tisretu. If you know Hebrew well enough, how do you say don't scratch in modern Hebrew? Al tisrot. What does it mean? V'seret lo titnu. The scratch, don't do. It's like a noun, and then the verb. That scratch, what does it come to tell me? That the focus, you're going to like this, Baruch, it's not the gavra, it's the hefza. It's not just me that I'm not allowed to scratch. There's an item called a scratch, and that you shouldn't give. So you give importance to the scratch, to the abstract noun called scratch. Don't do that. If I did 5, I'm chayav 5. If the Torah told me, al tisrot, don't scratch, it means, okay, I scratched 1 or 2 or 5, who cares? It's all in one go. I'm chayav one. But if the Torah says seret, that srita, that scratch should not be done. It's a Torah saying each and every scratch has its own importance. Don't do that. And each one you'll be chayav one. So if you scratch 5 times over that person, you'll be chayav 39 malchus times 5. You never told me how much is 39 times 5. I'm still waiting. Yeah. 95, 195, whatever you say works by me. So now, this Rabbi Yossi says, Minayin lemesaret srita achas al chamisha mesim shuchai al kol echad achas v'achas or echad ve'echad. Yeah, we have. Okay, in other words, you have how many? This guy is more thrifty. What does he do? 1 srita over 5 dead people. That's a bigger chiddush. 1 scratch is so sad. He sketches only 1 scratch because of 5 people who died. Yeah, his father, mother, chavrusa, mother-in-law. No, it's not. Yeah, whatever. He's 5 people who died. He's scratching, declaring, "I'm so sorry over the death." And we know the Adim know. He's declaring, "I'm so sad over the death of Reuben, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, and Prince of Bela. Therefore, I'm now scratching. Look, guys, I'm going to scratch. I don't care about your asur and your religious stuff. I'm so sorry. I'm scratching in order to show sadness over 5. Give a second. Then you chayv how many? Each and every one. Meaning on 1 srita, you chayv 5 times 39. Wow. How do you know that? Talmud lo emer lenefesh. Lechayv kol nefesh benefesh. Lenefesh is per nefesh. It's not only per srita. That's also true. If you did 5 scratches over 1 guy, you chayv. But if you did 1 scratch over 5 people, he will have another 5 items. Nefesh. Per nefesh, if my scratch was done to honor, so to speak, or to show sorrow over 5 people, le nefesh. Okay, what's your question?
Is it only with...
Oh, that will be the next topic. I'm not even stopping the video. Oh, there are 2 Isurei Torah. You were jumping the gun a little bit, but I'll forgive you. We're in the middle here, but I'll be more flexible today. And that is like this. There are 2 Isurei Torah. That's going to be the next issue. Seret means with your fingernail. It's machloek. The Pashat Pshat, and that's what some Tanoim hold. Seret is with, like in modern Hebrew, the Srot is with the fingernails. Now, there's another Isser. If you use a knife, then it's called Lotis Goidedu. Lisgoided means all kinds of things. It means not to have different nusach in the shul. I know you know that. Lotis Goidedu also means Veisgoided means to cut. Like the teenagers do it today, unfortunately, those who are in real trouble. Yeah, to take a knife and cut yourself to show sorrow, but with an instrument, that's a different Isser of Lotis Goidedu. They're both Osir. And some Tanoim say that both apply to both. But the Pashut Pshat, the axiom, the beginning point, the starting point is translation. Seret is with the fingernails, and Gdida is with a knife, and they're both also separate lav d'oraisa. Yes.
What happens if you've got a skin irritation and you...
What did you just tell me now? You told me, Rabbi Yossi, that if I scratch once over 5 dead people, I'm chayav 5 because it says le nefesh, per soul. Reuben, Shimon, daddy, mommy, and neighbor, each one. Frag the Gemara, excuse me, you don't have enough words in the pasuk. You don't have enough words in the pasuk. We use the word nefesh to exclude what I just told you, to exclude a person who is sorry and really sorry and scratching because of his burnt house, whose house is demolished, or the boat that sank in the sea. That's why nefesh is written. Nefesh is not free to tell me each and every nefesh. It's just coming to tell me that the only chiv is over dead people. And says the Gemara, here comes your story. Kasova Rabbi Yossi, Srita v'gdida achasi, uksiv hosom lemeis. Very, very good. Which means, Rabbi Yossi, I just told you, and I'll say it again. Srita v'gdida. What's srita? With your hand, fingernails. Gdida means with the instrument, with a knife. Rabbi Yossi doesn't hold that way. I told you some people don't hold that way. That's Rabbi Yossi. Uksiv hasam lemeis, which means when he talks about the Isser of Tisgoidedu, it says over there. 1 second. interesting, don't bring it inside. The ether of Gedida, yeah, there it's mefurash that it's over a dead person. And because Gedida, lot is going to do, velotasimu kocha benenechem lemeis, yeah, it says lot is going to do, and over the dead person. Since by least goyded it says over dead person, and Gdida and Srita are one and the same. Mimela, I know that Srita is only over that person, and Mimela now the lenefesh is extra. Lenefesh is telling me per nefesh. Let's revise. Let's say it again. I wasn't so clear. I'll say it again. According to Rabbi Yossi, how do you know that scratching is only over a dead person, not over the boat that fell, or the soccer team that lost, or the baseball team that lost in the game? That could be, I'm sure people, yeah. How do you know that? Yeah, no, maybe if I scratch over there, it's also, it says lenefesh. But Rabbi Yossi learned something else from lenefesh. He said that the word lenefesh is teaching me that if I scratch over chlila 5 dead people, one scratch, thinking of 5 people, I'm chayav each and every one. So how does he know that lenefesh means only dead people and not other tragedies? You know how he knows it? Because there's another equivalent brother pasuk about Gdida, Lot is going to do, and Lot is going to do says Mefurish, Lenefesh, there too, Lemes, Nefesh. And since this going to do and Slit are one, he does not differentiate between fingernails and knives. He says it's all one big happy family. It is going to do, it's all the same. It's all the same. Mimele, there it says a dead person, so I don't need twice. So one lenefesh, what he's going to do is only dead, excluding other tragedies. You know, he lost I don't know, didn't get his PhD. And what? And the other lenefesh is telling me per nefesh each and every one. Very good. Very good. Okay, one more because we started late. Omar Shmuel, hamisaret b'kli chayev. A person who's doing srita is chayev. He does srita. You know, I actually prefer to start that tomorrow. I want to start that tomorrow. We get Chafala from Aleph. I think it'll be better tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to learn about tattoos. Are you allowed to make a tattoo? Is that that's an interesting question. Not recommendable. So Chafala from Aleph. What? A craven image. Okay. Shkoyach. So Hatzlacha, good Elul. May we all be oiler this year, and we should be zoiche, the real Hatzlacha, and a good Rosh Hashanah and a good year. Thank you very much. Hatzlacha bracha. Thank you to Torah Anytime people, and anybody watches us on YouTube as well.